I tell a story in my book about a former Defense Intelligence Agency analyst who was working on the Yemen desk, and he told me, and this is in the book, and his name is in the book. He did an on-the-record interview. He told me that when he protested what he considered to be, this isn't his word, it was mine, but sort of the flimsy standards that were being used to put people on the kill list in Yemen, that he was saying, are you kidding me? 3 human intelligence reports is all you need to sentence someone to death. That when he protested up his chain of command, that he was told literally told to shut up by his boss at the Defense Intelligence Agency. People are told, if you're a dissenter, you get quietly removed. Go back and Google who was working on the White House's Guantanamo task force early on, and the people that were tasked with closing Guantanamo. All of those people left. They were either pushed out or they resigned because they realized that the White House wasn't going to fight hard on the issue to close Guantanamo. I think part of it is that you have this culture of yes people, in government, and they all want to be, they're all sort of subservient to the badass commanders. Like Admiral McRaven is considered a badass, and he's a guy who knows very well how the kill process works in the White House because he helped develop it right after 9/11 when he worked on the National Security Council. He's one of the most powerful figures in modern American military history. So President Obama, who has no military experience, is going to say to Admiral McRaven, who has his men deployed in 100 countries around the world, oh, Admiral, I actually don't think that that's a good idea. That doesn't happen that often. These guys are running the show. It's not that they're defiant in the face of the Commander-in-Chief. It's that the Commander-in-Chief is listening to them and doing what they say because that's what they do. And there's just this culture of, we sort of lionize the warrior culture in our society and militarism in general. And I think that for years, key powerful figures within the military have been the main drivers of U.S. policy. It should be that the military implements the policy that's created by the civilians who are elected. In a lot of cases now, we have secret committees and task forces that include elected and non-elected officials, and the guys who are doing the shooting are helping develop the policy of who should be shot. And to me, that's quite something. And so I don't think that there is tremendous dissent from within right now. And I wish there was, but I don't think that there is. We can take a couple more questions, and then is it? Yeah, a couple more. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
How do you deal with possible implications, threats, or intimidation with releasing this nature report, shining light on the shadows of our society? And do you have any advice for other people in the audience who might be interested in this nature report?
Right, so the first question was about how you deal with threats doing this kind of work, and then the second is about advice for others in the audience who might be interested in doing this kind of work. On the issue of threats, I always get a little embarrassed when people ask about that because, I think about Bilal Haider-Shaya, who's rotting in a prison cell right now, and I think of my friend who works for Agence France Presse in Somalia, who had part of his leg blown off, a few months ago, and think of Austin Tice, this reporter, the former Marine who's a reporter in Syria who's been missing for more than a year. People, I get threats. There have been attempts to intimidate me. I get detained when I fly back into the country at JFK Airport. I'm always the last person in and the first person out because I'm a white man, and I often see a Muslim family sitting in Area 2 at JFK, and they were there before I got there, and they're there when I leave. So it comes with this job. When you take on a company like Blackwater, you're bound to get some interesting email once in a while. Just to put it mildly. But I try not to think about it, and I sure as hell try to not let any of it get to me, because what are you going to do? You become paralyzed by your own fear. That's a big problem in our society right now. We are paralyzed by fear. The second part of it for you, if you're interested in it, or young people, or not young people, I think that if I had things to do over again,